Coming back to the topic, the origin of Islam and the origin of Christianity. I'm going to be speaking on the origin of Islam and Christianity altogether as I go. On the standpoint of Islam, we say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is the one that originates the religion of Islam. As we have in the Quran, Allah said, Inna dini inda Allahi al-Islam, وَمَنْ يَبْتَغِي غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامَ دِينًا فَلَنْ يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. The religion before Allah, Allah said this in the Quran, the revelation. The religion before me, Allah, is Islam, submission to only my will. Whosoever comes on the day of judgment with any religion other than Islam, I, Allah, I will not accept it from him. Again, we find in the Quran, God Almighty is talking to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, telling him to follow the footstep of Ibrahim, because Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, we all follow the path of Ibrahim. So Allah said in Muhammad, follow thou the footstep of Ibrahim. He is not among those who associate partnered with Allah. Then it continues. Quran also said, ما كان إبراهيما يهوديا ولا نصرانيا ولكن كان حنيفا مسلم. Ibrahim was not a Christian, nor was he a Jew. ما كان إبراهيم يهوديا, he's not a Yehuda, Yehud. ولا نصرانيا, he's not from Nasara, meaning Christians. ولكن كان حنيفا Muslim, but he is a person who is upright person, Muslim. In this context, Islam or Muslim means one who consciously submit his will to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let me venture here by using the word Allah. I'm going to explain because I'm going to be using the word Allah as I go in. Allah is what we call God. We have Arab Christians today who live in the midst of Arabs in the Arab world. In their Bible is Allah. Allah is the generic name for the one and only God Almighty. The Arab Christians never use any other name to call Allah, but they use the word Allah. Allah is the name of God Almighty, the name that Jesus and Moses and Abraham used. Abraham did not speak English, nor did Jesus spoke English. I don't expect you to tell me that Moses spoke English or Chinese. He spoke Aramaic or Hebrew. Jesus spoke Aramaic. Aramaic is a colloquial of Hebrew, coming from the Palestine. How do you say God? How do they call their one and only God? In the language of Hebrew, the Moses language, the Jesus language. It depends on the 12 nations. Jacob has 12 children, and each and every one of them became a nation. So each and every one have their own way of calling God, God. So some call him Eloi, some call him Eli, some call him Allah, and on and on and on. And Muhammad called him Allah because this is Semitic language. Actually, Jesus called God Almighty Allah. If you check in the Scofield Dictionary, you will find this. And if you check in the Encyclopedia Vaticanus, page 105, the second paragraph, he called Jesus, he called God Allah, and Muhammad said Allah. And if you are a Jewish and you want to accept Judaism, the first thing they tell you, they have their kalima shahada, testimony. You have to say, Shema Israela Adonai Elahun Adonai Ehud. This is Hebrew, meaning, hear, O Israel, hear, Shema, O Israel, Adonai Elahun, the Lord our God, Elahun Adonai Ehud, is one. In Islam, the same thing. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Muhammad said, Qul huwa Allahu ahad. Adonai Elahun Adonai Ehud. Moses said Ehud, Muhammad said Ahad. So the name of God Almighty, you see, in Hebrew and Arabic, these are sister language. The Hebrew said Shalom, it means Salam in Arabic, meaning peace. The Hebrew said Navim, the Arab said Nabir, meaning a prophet. The Hebrew said Qutub, meaning book in Arabic, meaning kitab. The Hebrew said Ruhi, in Arabic Ruh. Hebrew and Arabic, sister language. But the painful part of this discussion is this, that all the books that we have today is preserved in English. It's not even preserved in the original language. Jesus spoke Hebrew, but all the is lecturing, as he lived on earth for 3 years, everything else was preserved in Greek. Not only the classical Greek, it was preserved. I read most of her works. She said, by far contrast, Ellen G. Wells says, by far contrast, as we have learned from the earlyhood of Muhammad, he is by no means an unlettered prophet. For him to have brought such a magnitude book and for it to become one of the most powerful religion, fighting with Christianity, is a miracle indeed. And that is the only miracle Muhammad claimed. This is what she said, Ellen G. White.